Well, a new bill in Congress could help bring more manufacturing jobs to the Quad City area. Republican Representative Marionette Miller Meeks and Democratic Representative Eric Sorensen introduced the ONSHORE Act.
And Representative Sorensen is joining us this morning to discuss how this bill could help people here. Eric, thank you so much for waking up and joining us this morning.
Good to be with you on the Friday morning.
Now, Eric, can you talk to us about this bill and why you think it's necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I look back, this goes back many years, back into my days on Quad Cities News. As we were seeing the groundbreakings that happened more frequently on the Iowa side of the river, I think of Sterilite and Amazon and Oscar Mayer. I thought to myself, why aren't these being developed on the Illinois side when we have the same workforce in the Quad Cities? And it comes down to site readiness. The state of Iowa does better in site readiness than the state of Illinois. And when I say site readiness, I mean making sure that we get the infrastructure there, the sewer line, the electric line, the roads going into these areas. And so after discussions with the Quad Cities Chamber of Commerce, we came up with the ONSHORE Act. So the ONSHORE Act allows for site readiness within the Department of Commerce. So this is grant funding within the Department of Commerce that if we have a business that wants to locate into the Quad Cities or the Illinois Quad Cities, there's an availability there for funding to develop the site for their business so we don't have to put it on the backs of taxpayers.
And so you kind of mentioned it, but the bill is basically creating a grant program to help the communities get ready for those manufacturing projects. And so I think you kind of said it, but just go more into where that money is coming from.
Well, this is going to be grant funding, so you have to go and apply for it. So it isn't something that is going to be just right there, and it's going to be strategic. What are the businesses that are going to employ the people in the Quad Cities? Between 2021 and 2023, the Illinois side of the Quad Cities lost out 75 times in a matter of just a couple of years. 60 of those 75 times, 60 of those inquiries would have brought 2,700 jobs to the Quad Cities area. So what was the deciding factor for those businesses to go elsewhere? It was because we didn't have a site ready for them. So I think about the areas around the Quad City Airport. I think about the areas Silvis through East Moline on John Deere Road, Illinois 5, going out to I-80. These are areas that are prime for development, for jobs, for manufacturing, and we have to be able to bring those back to the Illinois side of the Quad Cities.
Now, Eric, you're partnering across the aisle with Representative Miller Meeks on this bill, so it could have impacts on both sides of the river. Now, what is the likelihood of this bill passing?
Well, look, I'm thankful to Congresswoman Miller Meeks for joining me on this. It is one of those things where, sometimes we feel like the river in the Quad Cities divides us. Well, here's a case where the river is bringing us together, where we have two different members of Congress on two different sides of the river, two different sides of the aisle that are coming together and saying what's best for the Quad Cities region. And that's what this is about. And look, I'll be honest with you, as a minority member here in Congress, we need those bipartisan wins in order to get these to the floor of the House. So if I were to put it out there, probably would just sit on a desk somewhere. But if I have Miller Meeks able to help champion this as well, there's a better shot that we get it to the floor of the House. We can get it through the Senate because we've got a couple of senators in Illinois that want to see this happen too, and then we get it to the president's desk.
All right.